Well, earlier in the week we spoke to Julian Batchelor, he from the Stop Co-Governance tour, and he is planning another tour around the country, and he's writing another book or series of leaflets. And last time he did this prior to the election, of course, there was all sorts of controversy, cancellation, standoffs with local bodies, I think, and people leaking information and renter mobs turning up to try and stop him having the discussion that David Seymour says we need to have a discussion about the treaty. In the course of that, of course, Julian Batchelor, like anyone who disagrees with the woke left in this country, was painted as a racist. And in fact, on Television New Zealand, I think it was a breakfast show, Sanjana Hatat called him a racist and said his booklets were racist. As a result of which, Julian Batchelor filed a claim for defamation, which TVNZ tried to studiously ignored, but ended up in a closed court mediation centre hearing in Auckland, I think, in the Auckland High Court earlier this week. And, well, it seems things may not be sorted out, but we're joined now by Julian Batchelor, who can, within the constraints, legal constraints, because it's a matter before the courts, give us an update on what went on. Well, Julian, have you had an apology or some compensation for being labelled a racist?
No.
No.
So TVN, just like you said, thank you for the intro, Sean. TVNZ published an article that contained statements made by Sanjay Hatatawa of the Disinformation Project. The statements about me were hurtful and false. So TVNZ and the Disinformation Project have refused to retract these statements.
Okay, and you wrote to them saying these are wrong, I'd like an apology. So you gave them a chance to clear up their mess, right?
I gave them a chance to clear this up privately and to just apologise, and they said, no, we're not going to. So I was left with no option but to commence defamation proceedings in the Auckland District Court. These proceedings are going well, and we expect a trial date to be set soon.
Okay, but this week you had a mediation, closed session mediation. Are you allowed to tell me what happened there, or can I just presume TVNZ and Mr. Hatatawa told you to get stuffed?
Well, you're accurate. I'm not allowed to. Okay. I'm not allowed to give any details of that meeting, but you've just summarised it perfectly.
So they say stuff off. And so basically it means they're saying they think you're a racist and your booklets are a racist. And I'm just thinking about what their defence is going to be when this comes to a hearing, Julian. Did they have the same lawyer? Are TVNZ taking care of Mr. Hatatawa, or have they got separate legal counsel?
They've got. I'm pretty sure they've got separate legal counsel, but the whole thing is extremely interesting the way this is all panning out, because I've been studying other cases like this, obviously, because I want to get up to speed with what goes on in New Zealand, and it seems to me that as I study other cases, not the one, because I'm not allowed to talk about the one that happened just the other day, just 2 days ago with me, but other cases, the court system is corrupt in New Zealand. There's no doubt about it. And so we're expecting to go into some pretty heavy headwinds, and when we go to trial.
Well, some sources told me that essentially the mediation involved the court telling you to get lost as well. Can you comment on that?
I'm not allowed to say anything, Sean, but let's just say, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Is that true? Yes. So, yes. Yes. Everything you're presuming. Just think the worst, but we are going to just go to trial.
All right. This is the reason, I have to make it a mission here. Once when working for Television New Zealand on Fair Go, we went to trial with a man, in fact, a lawyer, who was claiming defamation against me as the first respondent and TVNZ as the second respondent for a piece we'd done on Fair Go. As it was, he lost the case. We countersued and got a significant finding against him. But they are very, very bruising defamation cases, and they're very, very expensive, Julian.
Well, the thing is that thankfully all our expenses have been covered, and that's an amazing thing in itself.
So you have a benefactor.
I have a benefactor who is very, very, very skillful and very, very. He's actually a lawyer himself.
Can you tell us who that is?
No, I can't.
Okay, so that person wants to remain anonymous. Because what's going to happen next, Julian? It's all going to be the Atlas Network. You're going to be part of the Atlas Network, I would suspect, very, very soon.
Okay, well, bring it on. But you know what? The thing about that booklet was that we printed 550,000 of them, and nobody, the media had it for 8 months. The hostile dogs of the media, the pig hunting dogs of the media had it for 8 months, and they couldn't find one factual error in that booklet. And that's the one that was put up by Hatat as being the racist booklet, and I'm the racist author, and nobody could find anything untrue in that book. Do you think if they could find it, they would have? Absolutely.
Did they ever offer you a right of reply to that piece with him? Did they invite you on at the same time if they knew he was going to be labelling you that to balance their coverage?
No. So there was no phone me and say we're going to do this piece. Would you like to comment? Nothing. They just out of the blue launched a nuke on our campaign, and it was obvious that they were very obvious that the media was out to stop the tour and stop me. Yeah. And so they launched a nuclear weapon against Stop Co-Governance, and it didn't work because we kept on going. And, the campaign got bigger and bigger, and then the politicians started to all join in. Winston Peters, Seymour, and they launched into it as well. So it all was a perfect storm that I believe influenced the election and has got us to where we are now, which is the treaty bill